This episode of the Golf Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. You can win up to 325 times your entry with their new Pick 8. Sign up with promo code GOLFSGPN to claim your first special pick plus your first time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code GOLFSGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get the best data-driven props and picks from Rhythm. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. All right, TJs, welcome back. It's the U.S. Open betting show. It's your boy, Boston Capper, with the God of Golf himself, Steve Shermer, and very special guest, recurring guest at this point, Geoff Fienberg. Jeff, you ready for this week, then?
I'm ready. Father's Day, U.S. Open, little less excited because of Scheffler, to be perfectly honest. Because when you look at the list of past champions recently, it's like a lot of great first-time winners, which I love to try to chase, and a lot of guys who we always thought would be major champions, who I love to try to chase. So it's kind of frustrating in the same age gap range usually. So I'm excited, though. It's a major. If the card gets blown up and I just got to accept greatness, I'll accept it. I'm down.
So you're in the camp that you're not gonna eat Scotty at 3-1. You're just gonna keep betting loses.
Truth be told, guys, I wasn't even in a position to make that decision. Like once you had more than 2 futures, what do you do? Like I couldn't even do it. And you know me, I'm from the camp. Like if you got a future, you don't have to hide the future, but you could just, it's dead like a lost NFL bet or a NBA playoff bet you made. Like not every future has to, but once you have a couple of them, you can't post a card and have Scotty. So I didn't really even have the option. I've got Victor, I've got Ludwig, I've got Sahith. So it wasn't an option to create a card, a Scotty Scheffler bet, truth be told. It was taken away from me.
Yeah, I mean, that's the danger of just doing futures right there. I mean, you never know when the next incarnate of Tiger Woods is going to really pop up here and be 3-1. I mean, honestly, I never thought we would even touch some of those odds that Tiger had back in the early 2000s, with a guy in the modern day. I mean, the last couple of years, you kind of just said it too. Like there's been a lot of really young players getting their first time winner, but it just seems like there's a big pool of really good contenders, and seeing a guy in 2024 with all these talented players be 3-1, God, that is just jarring. And just, to me, I just keep saying, all right, it's going to end. It's going to end. It's going to end. It can't continue. And then, Tiger, did that for a decade. And here we are with Scotty winning 5 times in 10 weeks or so. It is frustrating. Jeff, I want to ask you about something I heard from, I think, Morikawa after his round at the Memorial. It seems like he's just defeated. Like these guys are playing against Scotty and, they have their good stuff, but Scotty just doesn't miss. And do you think these guys are just saying, okay, maybe I just can't beat these guys? Maybe they just already lost the mental battle going against Scotty? I don't know. What do you think about that take?
Yeah, I mean, geez, you almost wish you could remember what the press room would have sounded like in the Tiger years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like in some ways, because you hear Xander, you hear Colin, guys who are having good years and successful years. Well, granted, Colin doesn't want to win in terms of play and statistically, as good as anyone. And they're just we're kind of here for second place. I think they're just the triple coming back from the triple, I think is what's really defeating them. What I think could be the reason why a lot of people who it's fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me, fool me 3 times, whatever. You're not fooling me 4th time. I'm going in for Scotty now. It almost feels like if you bet, I love Tommy Fleetwood. I'm not betting on Tommy Fleetwood. If Tommy Fleetwood wins, I wouldn't even need to win money. I'd be so happy. But Tommy Fleetwood wouldn't one break, one bad thing max, he could survive. Even if you bet Tommy and he gets that one bad break, you're probably we're probably not overcoming that to win this golf tournament. With Scotty, it feels like you got 3.5 of them. Yeah. 3.5 bad things can go wrong, and you're still I'll be there Sunday, I'll be fine. It's so weird. The gap getting wider, as you mentioned, Steve. Like a year ago, we would have done this. Oh, there's like 4 or 5 guys. It's so much fun. The interchangeability of the top, right? There's like big 4 or 5. Like the gap getting wider. Hearing Xander acknowledge, like, we're doing all we can. The gap gets bigger. I don't know about defeated, but you certainly hope they're praying that they don't have to play him on Sunday. Like they're hoping a couple Bushes take him out.
Yeah, I mean,
so I'll tell you who is defeated. I'm defeated. I am fucking sick of losing money not betting on Scotty Scheffler. I equated it the other night to the old Simpsons episode where Sideshow Bob is trying to escape and keeps stepping on the rake and no matter which direction he goes and keeps smashing him in the head and he keeps that's me every week. Like I'm finally just gonna succumb to it. Look, if I mush him for the community, great. Like I can't bet losers anymore, and it's just so frustrating, especially when you hear like casuals who don't really play. They're like, oh, 4-1, 3-1, easy bet, and I would never think of doing it. And I single booted with Rom one time, that worked out for me. So hopefully this will work out for me too. But if I had access to without Scotty markets, I would definitely be betting that as well. I don't care if you take 5-10 points from me. I will happily take that for a safety. I don't care.
I mean, I guess you could, in hindsight, yeah, it'd probably be smart to at least like 60-40 them. Like, I would say 60-40 with Scott, like in favor, like 60 with Scotty, 40 without. You probably should have, I probably should have split every bet that I'm going to make, but no.
But that's not, so that the problem is like, you're like I am. That's not how I gamble. Like I'm an asshole. I bet on first round leader. I do first round 3 balls. I don't care. Like I manage my bankroll to a point, but I don't really give a shit. Like I'm betting to have fun and hopefully win a ton of money. And if not, on to the next week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I mean, I'm still not there where Boston Capper is with just waving the white flag. Maybe it's stubbornness, it's pig-headedness. Maybe it's the fact that I don't want to spend hours and hours breaking down a golf course and going through Google Earth and charting it and then just single bullet something at the end of the day.
If you didn't have to wake up Monday morning and like, look, fuck, I gotta look at traveler shit, or like the next morning, I think it would be that much easier for us who are like to do it. But like, it's like this road is so long and it can get annoying. And in my head, like you, Steve, it's like, no, I'm just not gonna budge.
Yep.
I'm gonna get going. I'm just not gonna budge. Obviously, Scotty's probably gonna prevent me from hitting my quota of winners. I've only got 2 going into the 3rd major. Not great, but
shit, I only got one.
Akshay and Jaeger. Jaeger. And I hope to get a few more. So it's not going to be like a full bloodbath, I think, in totality. But I'm just not gonna give. I would honestly just like go hard on a props card. Like before I literally just single bulleted the guy to win. I would just maybe change my approach in total. Maybe not even do it, like just get heavier with like a couple top 20s and go really freaking hard on them or something. Yep. Like as that boy David Gordon, drop a couple hammers or something. But yeah, like I don't know. I don't think I could ever just do. I don't know. Right now, I don't feel right about it. So I haven't. I'll just lose the money and whatever.
So I haven't placed the bet yet because I'm hoping that I won't be a coward. Right? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. There's no reason for me to rush to bet him because the number's not going to get any fucking worse. It's impossible.
I don't know. I saw it dip to 280 on a couple.
I mean, what, dude? When I'm betting 3-1 plus 280, what is the difference?
I don't know. I mean, it's people are clearly betting it. The number is moving. So I don't know. Are you waiting to see if I can talk you into some loser tonight, or Geoff can do the same?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. So like probably. Yeah, and like I was looking, we talked about Brooks earlier today, and it's the same batch of fucking losers. Like Xander, like I would have loved Xander coming into now if he didn't already win a major. Xander winning back-to-back fucking majors? No, that's not happening. Go ahead and clip that, Cam, just in case. Yeah, I mean Morikawa, we just saw like he he just went at Scotty. He played well. Scotty played like ass, and he still didn't fucking win. And I don't care. Listen, Colin's he's definitely going to be a placement bet for me, but I stand by my take that he's a fucking COVID golfer. All the tournaments he's won, there's been no fans, and it's been perfect fucking weather. So I can't bet him again. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I just don't know what to do. I just feel like a battered wife. Like, I have no idea what to do anymore. I don't know where to go. There's no safe space for me. Like, it's just stare at the board and get angry.
Yeah. So I asked Geoff a question that just pops in my head. So we're talking about Scotty's like the big bad, right? And we got these other pool of golfers, just to choose from here and clear the board. Just, let's say you didn't have any bets and not even like put like a number to it. Off the top of your head, how many, and I guess who would be the guys you would say at the top of your head that actually could go toe to toe with Scotty where he is right now and actually come out and prevail? Like, because we know that there's some guys that, like, they have the talent, but like they actually, when the going gets tough, can't have it. And we actually know like the guys who actually can nut up. I guess off the top of your head, who do you think could actually go toe to toe if it was mano a mano with Scotty and actually come out ahead?
It's a super small list, and I will say honestly, I don't even think like Morikawa's on it, I guess, but he's pretty far back. Like, I mean it. I don't trust him. I'm kind of in Capper's mode here. I'd have to include Rory and Schauffele. I really like Rory this week. I don't know that if I could bet him, but I really do like him. I like that it's quiet around him. He's really had fantastic runs at these U.S. Opens the last 4 or 5 years. But like the finesse of some chipping and puttings that actually have to drop, who knows? But Bryson, I would trust. Hovland, Brooks, Ludwig, and then it's like Cam Smith, Hideki Matsuyama.
Okay.
That's a pretty big list. That's a bigger list than I would have thought you would have had, because that's bigger than my list. But
sure, but it's still like we've gone, I guess. I mean, if you ask me, it's probably still too big, but it is more than 50% less than I've probably ever given at a major.
So that's basically your outright pool then. If you were just going to bet everything today, it's just that list. Because I mean, that's what's going to take essentially at this golf course where, it's going to be really super punishing if you miss a green. So great iron play is really going to be valued this week because, I mean, it's really difficult around the green, but we're seeing guys, are going to have to be really creative with what they're going to do. I mean, I saw Webb Simpson today say he was just going to take 3 wood off the green out all day. So, the guys who are just not chipping from those areas are going to do pretty well. And you say, okay, well, Scotty's the best iron player in the world. So if you think it's going to come down to, who has the stones to go up toe to toe with him, if they are that up, paired up there. And, a lot of those guys actually I end up betting. So that was kind of my approach this week. Who do I think can beat Scotty if it comes down to one-on-one?
Let me circle back to something that you said, right? As far as like, is Morikawa and guys like that, are they defeated already? So you can almost equate it to the teams who used to come into Gillette, right? When Tom Brady was Tom Brady, they would come in and they would inevitably make some stupid fucking mistake and let the Patriots win. I mean, if you take a look at like the Patriots run, most of the time they just sat around and waited for the other team to beat themselves. You know what I mean? So I wonder if just the constant dominance is doing the same thing to them, especially because these younger generation, I know they're not, I mean, they're mid-20s, late 20s. Like, it's definitely a different generation. They have sports psychologists. The whole generation's soft, never mind a country club kid. So I can imagine their egos being uber fragile and not being able to handle almost any adversity, because 90% of them, not all of them, but 90% of them are, just country club kids, just assholes. Like everything's been perfect for them so far. So when they find somebody who can stuff them in a locker, they don't know how to handle it and they just melt down. Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, I think the list of guys that could beat Scotty is so small, and the only two, like, really of the list I gave, right? Like and maybe it's because I'm a fanboy of them, and obviously I bet them. And if it was that old USA, when I mentioned the list of past winners, where it's like, oh, these young guys who were pretty confident would be major champions seem to win their first one here. Hovland and Aberg, I'm just giving credence to, in this case, to go against Scotty, because you almost feel like they haven't built up the scar tissue to like not have the belief. Like, I mean, even last week, Aberg played with Scotty on Thursday, Friday. Aberg played as amazing as he could have played, and still lost to Scotty 5 under to 4 under. Not to say they were having a match, but it was like I was outstanding.
But you would think that would be the mentality of somebody playing with him, right? Even though
yeah,
it's not
of course,
really match
you're
play,
judging.
you know that
it's the barometer. It's the litmus test, right?
Yep.
It's a litmus test. And Scotty hit it to 1 foot on 18, if you remember, on Thursday, and he whatever kicked it in. I know it well because I took Aberg like plus 190 in a matchup. You know, like I'm gonna back my guy. No, he took 18 holes, but I still the Scotty train still like hit me. There. So they're on the list just because Aberg seems like he still seems too fresh to have, like, he's just enjoying it still, where he's not even in a way where I'm certain Morikawa is getting demoralized, Rory, some of these other guys, that the gap is getting wider between Scotty and them. Aberg still feels like I don't think he's there yet in terms of worrying about that gap, right? The scar tissue's not there. Let him have his battle. But I could be glad handing them by including them in the discourse, because everyone else, even the guys that I said the last on the list, Scotty, Cam, and Hideki, they're major champions. So those are the only 2 non-major champions that I believe their best golf could not beat Scotty's best golf, but like could beat Scotty's like B golf on 18 holes on a Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let's put a bookmark in Hovland and Aberg for a little bit, because I bet one of those guys. I'm contemplating betting the other. There's a couple of guys that we've mentioned at the top 2 that, that we talked about who could beat Scotty. I'm thinking about betting. But before we do that, why don't we play our game? Guessing the most tipped golfers. And this is, I don't think there's a ton of surprise. There's a couple surprises, but I don't think there's really a lot of surprises on this list, based on some of the things that people have talked about as far as what skills are valuing here. Great ball striking, U.S. Open history. Not that surprising. So we'll give you, Geoff, we'll give you 3 strikes, and then you're out. There are 7 guys as the most tipped golfers currently per at Golf Tips Checker. So Geoff, take your first swing at it. Who's your first guess is one of the most top tipped golfers this week?
And just disclaimer, Capper told me to stay dark from this. I love Golf Tips Checker, but we have this like mute, unmute relationship weekly, just because, it's not even like a great account, great guy running the account.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm just trying to say, like, sometimes for my own process, I need to keep him away from my process Monday through Wednesday. The second I want to see after the fact or on the weekend where he's, giving praises to who's doing well and who tipped them, I'm all in for. So I'm totally dark here, as it should be. Okay, well, I have got to say off the top that, the first one you'd think it shouldn't be so hard, but I think Scotty Scheffler, like, I'll burn a strike there. It seems as popular as ever.
So Scotty Scheffler, despite all this dominance,
is
not on the list. Apparently,
it's because we're so stubborn. No, look, I still even made the bet because I don't want to get called a fucking coward.
Yeah.
Like, it's the circle that we run in.
Okay, that's bad. I should have gone with like Hideki first then.
Okay, well, we'll give you another credit. That is the number one.
I'll let you keep guessing.
That is the number 1 tip golfer this week.
And I said, doing the show on Monday with Pat, when he said he bet the 55, I'm looking at the 55. I'm like, that people are gonna love that, because Hideki's the type of guy where, like, when you bet Hideki, like, if I miscut, obviously you don't want the WD, but it's like, this guy can win, and I'm willing to risk whatever other result comes, because as I included him on the list before, like, he can, I think, keep up. He can. I believe he could potentially.
I agree.
And in suit, which will also probably be no surprise, I got to shout Cam Smith next, because the Pinehurst lane, like the path of Pinehurst, he feels perfect. 4 in so many ways, and the number is very easy to put on anyone's card.
Okay, so Cam Smith, who I would think would have been pretty popular.
What?
Not on the list. Apparently, him going 12 over in 8 holes in Houston apparently put a sour taste in people's mouths
Okay.
there.
This is a horrible performance. I better get hot right now. So,
Geoff, I suck at this game, dude. Steve beats me every week very quickly.
I like this. This means the Cam Smith bet can go. Because I like where you guys are at. This the popular player just doesn't win. And as someone who's in the spot where you're doing content early on a Monday morning, you do the show, you come out of the show, you eat some lunch, you see the internet. It's like the guy you liked is, for obvious, he's popular. The number's good, the course fits, yada yada. And you're like, shit, I don't want him if he's popular. So that's great. I gotta say Brooks Koepka. Like, obviously, people are going to the Brooks with a 2 in front of it. 2025. That's easily on the list. I should have said that one before almost anybody, I guess.
All right, Brooks Koepka, number 3 on the list, off the heels of a 65 at Live Houston, a very good ball striking week. Did basically everything that he's done before, a good performance in the major. Great ball striking, couldn't really putt last week. Yeah, it's just, vintage Koepka performance week before a major. Obviously, top 10 at Pinehurst in 2014, a very easy bet probably to make and a popular one this week.
I gotta be honest, I'm not like, there's a couple. Oh, okay. Well, I guess I gotta shout Morikawa now because it's a number that people feel like they can win some money on, and he's playing so well. Okay. And the Sawgrass comps.
Morikawa, number 2, tipped golfer this week. You are on a roll right now. So
you got 1, 2, and 3.
You have 1, 2, and 3. Matsuyama's number 1, Morikawa number 2, Koepka number 3. So you have 4 through 7 still left on the list.
Okay, so I'm gonna this is a guy who I have a future at 90-1 based on where the number is today. Seeing it 50-55, I'm gonna have to just by that pick Theegala.
Theegala.
I like
is number 5 on the list.
Had to be
all right.
Who I've kind of cooled on as the week has gone on, but I made a case for Sunday. I reverse course a little bit, but I don't know if I trust Theegala at a golf course where sloppiness is really punished to keep it together for 72 holes. So, but he's got the talent, he's got the upside for it. I just don't know if volatility and electricity with Theegala is something I really want at Pinehurst this week. So, but we'll see. All right. So you got 3 more on the list. Keep it rolling, Geoff.
4, 6, 7.
I'm not gonna win. I'm not gonna complete the comeback here without this guy. So maybe there are other guys who I should be debating who could maybe be used before. And there's a guy who I want to say, but I'm hoping he's not on the list. So maybe I'm just avoiding him and I don't want to be eliminated here. Seems really popular. The major championship track record is just as good as anyone in the last year. So I'm going to say Sepp is finding his way onto people's cards.
Sepp Straka is not on the list. Strike 3.
Okay.
I'm surprised because the ball striking has been
and the number dipped. The weekend it was 150 and now it's as low as 70.
Yeah, see,
it's high as 90. Okay. Can I the guy who I want is Hatton on the list?
Hatton is not on the list. So I will tell you,
Bryson's got to be on the list, right?
Bryson is number 4 on the list this week. Obviously contender in the first 2 majors,
Victor.
Victor is not on the list.
This is great news.
So that's good. Number 6 is I get why, but I don't like this pick. Minwoo Lee is number 6.
What?
No.
That's
I don't like
shocked. Okay. I mean, I'm a bit of I can fangirl for Minwoo. There is a case where if the course just truly becomes an driver putting, and there's some people I don't know. I guess we could have a whole when we're done this, talk about how hard it will actually play. Some people say it's going to be so hard. Some people say like the runoffs aren't that big of a deal and they'll just putt from, I don't know. There's a lane. Like there is a lane where I do see a Minwoo skill set playing, and I do like Minwoo, but I am shocked. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, and who else? Who else?
So
Is Ashke? Is it Batia?
Akshay is not on the list. Number 7, a guy, Boston Capper, near and dear to your heart, Keegan Bradley.
Of course.
Number
Oh
7.
my God. I was
Mr. Ball Striker.
That should have, like, now I feel like not that I would have won, I think, but I was up north, so kind of out of some communication this weekend. And when I did my internet time a bit on Saturday night, I saw half of like so many people in our Twitter internet space talking about their Keegan Bradley US Open bets. Okay, I'm logging off now.
How about our Keegan Bradley Memorial bets that completely went up in flames on Saturday?
Dude, he was so fucking solid. And he shot +5 and then +8 on fucking Sunday. Unbelievable.
Went off the rails. I had a top 20 bet on him, and I was like, all right, that looks pretty good on Friday. And the full Keegan.
I've never seen so many players like truly evaporate, like puff in the air, like they did through the course of that tournament.
Yeah,
from like every day. And every single of one of my bets felt like at one moment they really did tease me with where they were on the leaderboard, but like they all literally evaporated.
Yeah, Moorfield Village just really seems like a golf course that, like, you just get it going the wrong way for a couple holes. You just lose focus a little bit, and you just get punished so severely for just missing there. And I mean, kudos to Jack for setting it up difficult every single year, up in the ante. You see all these other PG Tour events where they're soft, they play lift clean in place. And I admire Jack for kicking these guys in the ass a week before
those guys complained about mud balls so fucking much. It made me so happy inside.
Yeah. Sorry you played the ball down there. Okay.
Yep.
Like everybody else. So, all right. Well, that is the list. Why don't we round back to Why don't we go back to the top of the board? Talk about a couple guys that maybe we can go toe-to-toe with Scotty. So, Geoff, you mentioned that you kind of like Rory this week. I kind of like him too. I haven't bet him, but why? Could you expand a little more about what you like about Rory this week at Pinehurst?
Okay. As I'm always pretty transparent about, when it comes to majors, like I gotta want it for you to bet it. And Scotty feels unplayable. Xander just got his. Rory's just taking such a whipping. I just want it for him. Like, I'm not lying. That's part of my case. Wanting it. Him winning a major championship in the same week as Jay Monahan celebrating his 1-year anniversary of bailing on the boys with a tummy ache when the going was getting tough for the whole summer. Like, that's the link I want here. So of like the truly high-end guys, that would be the one that I like the most. I like that there is, like, it's just quieter around him this week. There's no serendipity connection of, he won here before, or he met this woman here, or Liverpool, or St. Andrews. Like, there's really none of that. But what there is just a guy who has really excelled at U.S. Opens. And for all the excitement of the Masters, it is probably the U.S. Open where he does get off the mat, when he does get off the mat.
He just got back with his wife too, didn't he? Wasn't that?
Yeah,
that is breaking news.
That is I did see that today. I don't know.
It's gotta help, right? It's gotta help. Gets to keep half his money. Gets to move back into the house.
I mean, when we saw the thing the day after Wells Fargo, we're like, oh, Rory been living, in a race car bed for the last month's been working out pretty well as well, right, boys? So, like, I don't know. We can make the jokes both ways. I'm trying to take it out of it. I feel it, and that's where I would want to go. He's been here before, and going gets tough. I like to think. Crap, is my mic pissing?
No, you're still
people
good.
off?
You're good.
Now you're good.
You're
Now
good
you're
now.
good. Now you're fine.
Okay, good. Sorry, boys.
That's okay. No, it's all
Um,
good. But no, I like Rory too for a lot of the similar reasons you just said. It was really quiet around Rory last year at LACC as well, and I bet him there, and I probably should have cashed that too. Rory should have won
he
that.
should've.
So I think there
Nope,
is
but you
there's
didn't.
the extra motivation of unfinished business this year at Pinehurst. Maybe people have the impression because it is so firm and fast that maybe this isn't a Rory golf course. Well, they're saying the same things about LACC last year, and he almost won that. And what I'm seeing with, I mean, obviously the ball striking is always there off the tee. He's really great. His iron play has been stellar this year. I can point to a couple of examples of some firm and fast golf courses he's been very good at. He's won at Congaree, which is the same grass type as we're going to see this week. That's got tight Bermuda lies around the green too. Winner at TPC Sawgrass. And it doesn't seem like people are really talking about him a whole lot. I don't think he's done winning major championships. I think, I like him this week. I don't know if I'm going to bet him at 13-1, but I'm definitely considering it. He's on the short list.
And Victor said in his, the success to winning here is you're going to have to be aggressive off the tee.
Oh yeah.
I mean, yes, it's friendlier, it's wider, but the guys that are going to truly have the most success over 4 days are the guys who do hit it long, who are hitting it successful, who are just playing in from the shorter numbers. And from people on the ground, they make it sound like every foot counts. Every foot you're closer to that hole, to that green, to that safe 20-foot putt, 20, 30-foot putt that you can lag in for 2 and then go home to the next tee. Everything matters, and I want to trust Rory. And I'm not going to lie, when it comes to majors, I need you and I want you, and I really want it for him. I really do. I'm willing to bet Rory. I'm not really willing to bet Fleetwood, not to bring it to Fleetwood, but in terms of two guys who, bets aside, I so badly want to see them either get off the mat or win that first one.
Yeah, so let's talk about off the tee. So I went back and watched a lot of 2014, and the one thing I talked about on Sunday when I did the preview was, a lot of guys with a lot of length did very well at Pinehurst. And I think one of the reasons why is because the targets are so small on these greens, the turtleback nature, the runoffs and everything, that you really need a high ball flight into these greens. And obviously, if you have a lot of power and length, you're hitting higher lofted clubs into these greens. So I think that's a big advantage. And in 2014, everybody I saw was hitting driver. You didn't see the 3 woods, you didn't see the irons, you didn't see all that. Everybody was still hitting driver. And that's 2014. And now all of a sudden, 10 years later, everybody has TrackMan. Everybody just wants to hit as far as they can. There's going to be plenty of opportunities to hit driver this week, just like at LACC last year too. And I think that's just going to match Rory. And I love where his iron play is coming into this. I love the fact that he can hit high irons into these greens. And it seems like, he actually mentioned a come to Jesus moment about the US Open in 2018. He's been great ever since. I think he likes this style of play. Rory's definitely on the short list for me for this week. So
did you? So did he seem a little wild off the tee this past weekend? Every time I tuned in, it seemed like he was going left a lot, and very far left.
He lost strokes.
I couldn't make it up.
Almost a full. It's one of the rare times, but it was almost a stroke he lost. But yeah, he was not. Sorry.
Yeah,
it was a third of a stroke, and it's been a couple weeks where he hasn't been gaining off the tee. But I'm willing to trust
there's something loose there. I don't know what it is. Look, I have no I'm not a swing analysis, right? So I have no idea. But he definitely seems like he stands over the ball a little longer on the box too, which will fuck me up. And I'm a shitty golfer, so I can imagine only the things that are going through his head. So I don't know. I just worry about him off the tee, and it's a major, and I'm on record of Rory's not going to win another major, so I have to stand by my take.
I'm not on the record, but I feel like I'd be breaking my word that I was sort of just done betting him, and I can just be happy for him.
I used to hate Rory,
it's still 12-1. It's still pretty short, right? Part of me is okay, I know you want it for him. I know you want to pick a really high end player because you need a bet on guys who could maybe beat Scotty. But Rory, like, part of me is just be happy for him when he wins and congratulate your friends who did bet it. Whatever.
Yeah. I hated Rory before Monahan, and now I like Rory because of how much I hate Monahan. So I'd be happy to see him win.
Okay. All right. Why don't we transition to Ludwig, your favorite son, Geoff, in the golf world at least. So I consider betting him too. I guess, where is he at with his knee injury? I'm not on Twitter, so I don't really see all the scuttlebutt with it. Like, has that popped up again this week as far as, is it still an issue? Is that why maybe people aren't betting him as much because they're just afraid of, he's injured? Maybe I don't want to bet on that guy.
I think it was the cryptic answer. Geoff, tell me if I'm wrong. I know you pay attention to this, his press conference probably more than I do, but somebody basically asked him about his knee and if he tore his MCL or whatever, some part of his knee. And he said that's between him and his doctor. I was like, well, that's not reassuring.
Yeah, not reassuring. Not reassuring. And it is weird because it's not like a contact sport or like the NHL playoffs or football. And it's weird. Like, you tell us you're hurt, it gives you like a free pass, as a, like, just if you admit you're hurt and you're playing with something pretty serious, then I don't know. As for Ludwig, obviously I have a lovely future number. It's 60-1. I had 100 at the Masters, 100 at the PGA, 60 here, and this is it because I don't have one for the Open, and then next year I'll have to bet him like rest of the humans at the super short numbers if I want to. Part of me is just like, there's no hole this guy can't par. As someone that tracks him super closely, it's not quite Scotty Scheffler, but his ability to make like 20-foot par putts is actually pretty freaking awesome. Mm-hmm. Like, I see it a lot. I think I'm about to give one back, and it's like, boom. No, I did not. Like, it's so incredible to me. When he's on. He doesn't have that scar tissue. Obviously, I got my future number, so I'm pretty excited about it. It might not be the prototypical Ludwig venue, but I'm interested to see like if it turns into like a Hellraiser hard event, like where he does hold up, because I think the guy can, he started at Memorial, like, I can make like 15 straight pars, and sometimes that's exactly what you need to do. And he's good enough where he will birdie holes, even if it is like the hardest one on the course. He's one of the guys that might walk away with it. So there I am. I'm on it. I'm excited for it. We'll see.
Yep. Would you bet him at 20-1 today?
Probably not.
Okay.
Probably not. And if I did, it would be strictly like peace of mind. It's hard to sort of garner much from with the injury that maybe you would. But last week kind of showed you that, I don't know, could sometimes be worth the dip. Still, he had his moment like everyone else, except pretty much Scotty and Colin. Like, at some point in the tournament, they really did evaporate. He held on in the end. I don't know if I'd be there at 20, but he do try. It's maybe the lack of the scar tissue. I actually am crazy enough to trust that, like, it could be, and that would be so much fun. I mean, if it is going to be Scotty and you got to pick for him to be against, like, that'd be fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think he proved that on Masters Sunday. I mean, Steve followed him around a little bit on Friday and Saturday. The kid is a fucking stud. I mean, there's no denying it all. And I think the no scar tissue is a huge thing in golf. I mean, it really is. Like, you can see it. You can see certain guys, and you know what's going to happen because they're going to think about this. Look at poor Francisco Molinari. His soul is still in Augusta. Like, he never recovered from that. Like, a lot of these guys just can't mentally recover from getting beat and beat and beat again. He doesn't have it yet. He smiles after a bad shot. He smiles after a good shot. The kid's a specimen. This is a place where younger winners and breakout guys, or U.S. Opens anyway, where guys break out and finally get their big win. Studs who we think is going to go. I mean, that would definitely fit that.
Yeah, I mean, for me with Ludwig, the knee injury obviously is a little bit of a concern. But for his form, you're right. I mean, I don't think there is a shot he can't hit. The first time contending at Augusta in as good of conditions. You can get Augusta firm, fast, just ball rolling everywhere, similar to what we're going to get this week at Pinehurst. Very encouraging too. He also has experience playing in tournament conditions at Pinehurst. He was in the 2019 USAM. Didn't go great for him once he got to the elimination round, but hey, he's at least played it, so he knows what to expect. The only thing, so I was trying to think back to like young phenoms, like where they got their first win, their first major win. I mean, obviously you got Scotty at the Masters, but I'm thinking back. Rory got his at Congressional, kind of a dog shit track. You had Spieth winning again in Chambers, although he won the Masters too. But you had Spieth winning Chambers, and you got Morikawa winning at TPC Harding Park, kind of a dog shit track.
Asterisk.
You got Brooks winning at Aaron Hills.
Yep, Brooks winning at Aaron Hills. So, like, younger guys, like the phenoms, like winning. And
Brooks wasn't that young, right? Brooks was kind of on the older side.
Yeah, Brooks was a couple years in.
No.
So, like talking about like guys who like winning in like one of their first majors, or like, you know, really coming in, like breaking out. And is Ludwig going to do that at Pinehurst, one of the most famous, storied, difficult golf courses in America? But I'm considering betting him as well. So he's on the list. So Geoff, I did join you at Hovland though. This was a guy I picked back in December. I looked back at the 2014 U.S. Open, saw that Martin Keimer entered Pinehurst, ranked 163rd in strokes gained around the green, putted his way around the golf course, but because he just was a premier ball striker, was trending both off the tee with the irons, and he just boat raced the field. And Hovland has the ability to boat race fields and get really hot, even with the deficiencies around the green, because, you know, like I said earlier, you got guys contemplating what clubs they're going to be using. Hybrids, putters, you name it. So just looking at traditional stroke skating around the green stats, relying on those guys isn't really going to cut it this week. It's going to, you know, we don't really know what strategy these guys are going to use, but I know that Hovland's ball striking is tremendous. And I think this is the one where he can really break through. So I have bet that. So there you go.
You should do your old asking some offshore to give you Hovland by 3, Geoff.
You know, as he was saying that went through my head. Maybe he does pull like a Martin Keimer or a Rory at one of those majors where it just felt like, you know, he's got this score. Second place feels like a different course. Yeah, there's nothing for me to disagree with there. I think if you ask me, like, pick a winner not named Scotty Scheffler, I would probably tell everyone for me it'd be Victor Hovland.
Yeah, and he's already taken down Scotty one-on-one. Took him down at Olympia Fields. So we know he can do it. Now, Grant, I think Scotty's putter actually got the best of him. I had a bet on Scotty that day, and I wasn't very happy with what happened. But all right, let's move down. I guess let's go past like 30-1. And I guess let's talk about like guys either you think maybe could win as long shots or just placement bets. So who are some guys between like 30 and like 70-1, Geoff, that you like this week in those markets?
All right. So let's do this. There'll probably be a theme because I do think like the internationals are set up to really be all over that leaderboard. Get it out of the way. Like Hideki's popular. That's probably a reason. Like I'm probably not going to play him if he's the most. You say he's the most tip player?
Yes, he is.
Yeah. And as you know, Matt Vincenzi has pointed out, Hideki's like big wins always seem to be like when we weren't waiting for them.
Yeah.
Like he can win a Zozo and a Phoenix and a Sony as chalk, but like the true great wins of his career have kind of come when he's not been sort of the apple in everyone's eye. So, you know,
like Riviera this year.
Yeah, Riv and even the Masters win, right?
Oh,
like,
for sure.
Right? Like, come on. We bet him forever at 20. He gets the 40s, forgotten wins.
Yeah, Nagels is the only one I remember betting him.
So Cam Smith, like, just feels like if Pinehurst is going to play mean and nasty, the fairways are wide enough. Like, there's the lane and the number works. And, you know, there are a lot of bogeys, but, you know, there's a lot of good and bad with how he played last week. But that's a guy that I'm looking at. Obviously, Matthew Fitzpatrick. So
Mhm.
he's won the U.S. Open, plays hard courses well.
He didn't vacation here as a kid though, so he has no shot.
How do
He
you
had-
know
didn't play
that?
here as
It's a
young.
resort.
Where
It's true. He couldn't.
Oh,
He
there
couldn't.
is a chance. This is something we might need to like really look into. Like they went to Harbor Town. Why wouldn't they have gone to the cradle of golf? Like
That
as
is true. That is very true.
yeah, we got to look into this one. But okay, there's a guy, and I don't know whether you guys are gonna like throw up a little in your mouth, or be like, I could totally see it, or this is nuts. And I want to say I'd never play the placings. But if I do this guy, I think I'm gonna do placings. I said this week I'd like him to. I think he could win, and if you do bet him, you deserve bonus points for having the courage, because it's a major and it's Hatton.
Let's go. I love it.
And like think about how he played that Sunday at Sawgrass, where he finished second, where everyone was getting demolished out there. Felt like he was on a different course. When he won at API, it was a hard day, and he's scoring like it's a different golf course.
Yep.
The temperament, though, right? A U.S. Open. It's truly like in the way that we know Brooks Koepka has perfected major championship pace and temperament. Like Hatton's the true wild card.
I will say this though to back it up. Like Rom changed, right? As we get older, we get a little more mellow.
Rom's talent was so high that like even that couldn't hold him back.
Let me get there.
Hatton is still in the range where like there's wiggle room, but you can't give anything. Like you can't give anything.
And so he hated Augusta, right? He whined and complained about Augusta year after year after year, and he top 10 this year. So maybe he's become a little more patient on the golf course.
Like this golf, like it just screams Hatton, and like I've mentioned all this stuff. Cam Smith being an Aussie, but I really do think like Team Europe is set up for a great week. Set for the obvious reasons. Going farther down, I wouldn't bet him to win, but the way Norin is kind of just like I think you could do something off his 125 to 1. We're not talking about winning. Don't make fun of me there. But I think there's money to be made in Alex Norin, as everyone is still like hates him because they bet him in Canada or something when he's chalk, whatever. But yeah, Terrell, like I really want your opinion, Steve, on Hatton. I know Capper was trying to put air in my tires. You were sitting there like, okay, I'll let them finish.
You know what? No, listen, you make great points about API and TBC Sawgrass. I think I am cursed with maybe too much knowledge about what's going on with Liv, because I actually am kind of crunching the stats and looking at it. He hasn't been all that good over there, which is why it was surprising that he actually showed up to Augusta and actually did pretty well. And we've always had that take of, he said Augusta was really unfair, and that's just really has stuck with me. And then he kind of broke that. But I also feel like with Pinehurst, where I remember in 2014 watching the coverage, and first hole Stenson absolutely flagged one to 5 feet, but he hit it a little too far, and the ball just rolled off the green 25 yards away. And I just picture Hatton just flipping the bird, mother effing people, and he kind of just loses his mind.
If Hatton is hitting a shot on the like if he's flushing one on the nose and he's not getting rewarded for it, he ends up getting penalized for it. You're right. It's over. And that, by what people say about this place, that's gotta happen. So, okay, Steve. As much as I knew that, like that's part of the case, the temperament, the pacing. This course is gonna really frustrate you in the way we love Ludwig, because it seems like it's the same, like the monotoneness of him. And some people make fun of like, you should be a young guy, you should be more brash. He doesn't even realize how good he is, we think, to maybe have that brashness.
So
okay, yeah, that's I appreciate the counter. I appreciate the counter.
He's gonna make me abandon my betting Scotty thing, and now I'm gonna have to make a card that fucking includes Hatton, because you can't just dismiss him because you're like a temperament. You're allowed to show emotion in different ways. Maybe that's how it settles them down.
He melts, like he doesn't react to bad breaks well, and those seem inevitable. Like those,
it's gonna happen this week.
But in the same, but here's the thing: like links golf is a lot of sometimes good shots not getting rewarded. And I mean, I'm not comparing this to Scottish Opens, but he's really been one of the best links golf players on earth. Like for a period of time where he won back-to-back Aberdeen Scottishes or whatever, a high level links golf player, you would think like is fully aware of not being rewarded for what you think was on the nose. So I don't know, man. But you look at this place and it feels like it could very well be a lovely layout for a guy like him.
Yeah, if he's got his head on straight, if he brings the API mentality, although I remember I bet had an API and I think he duck hooked one in the rope in the water. He flipped the bird anyway. So he had that bad attitude back then anyways.
Yep.
But he's able to shake it off. Yeah, I mean, listen, if he can stay calm and composed, yeah, I mean, he's got the talent and for this place, but I just worry about that.
So you like Fitz more than him?
Fitz
fucking sucks.
So Fitzpatrick. So this is what I went with this week, and it was based on a lot of what I saw in 2014. A lot of guys who were trending up with their irons did very well at that 2014 U.S. Open. Even Eric Compton, who had a lot of big iron performances heading in. And I think about Pinehurst, where it just the margins are so small that if you are missing greens a lot, you're just dead. And the guys who just hit their irons the best that week generally did the best. So I've looked at a lot of guys who are trending up with their irons, hitting it really well coming in. And Fitzpatrick, I liked him last week, not trending all that great with the irons. So, he can get up and down for like a positional, but I don't see him as a two-time major winner. B, I don't like where the iron game is at. So I was out on him.
I mean, isn't Zach Johnson a two-time major winner? Nobody thought that was going to fucking happen either.
I mean, the 2007 Masters was a fluke. No one could get.
I'm just saying.
No one could get home to a par 5 and 2, and St. Andrews was
fucking rude.
That was a weird one. So,
all right, who else you got down the board?
Are you talking about me?
Either of you. Who else you got down the board? Yeah, who else you got down the board?
All right, I'll talk about the loser who's going to make you guys cringe, but I can make a case. I know, Capper, you're going to cringe. The profile of Tony Finau of this coming in, it's similar to what Gary Woodland was doing when he won out of nowhere. Ball striking has been absolutely amazing. And if he's flushing is what he's been doing the last couple tournaments, he's not going to have to worry about getting up and down all that much. He's also won at Memorial Park with tight Bermuda lies around the greens there. I think an underrated comp to this place is Albany, where they play the Hero World Challenge. I know it's an exhibition, but that's wider fairways, sandy waste areas where it's a little bit of a luck box off the tee. Ernie Els also designed those greens with some runoff areas with Bermuda, turtlebacked in nature too. So he's been pretty good there. He's got a second place finish in our top 5. I mean, it's 20 feet guys, but he was in the mix. I just love where his ball striking is at, and I got him at 70-1. For a guy hitting it that good, where if I'm just valuing trending ball striking coming in, he's been good in majors, hasn't been good in a while, but he's been good at Shinnecock, which, had firm conditions, runoffs around the green. I like Finau a lot this week. I think he's going to have a good showing. And he got a little bit in the mix of Valhalla. It just turned into a track meet and a putting contest, and, he's not going to win that. So no, that's a guy I like this week.
Whatever. He's 70-1. I'm not going to quibble with you over a 70-1 bet.
Okay. Whatever. Geoff, what do you think about that case?
I haven't thought about him. I mean, I love Finau. He would probably make he could probably get the 3rd spot on my Rory Fleetwood Finau, just no bets, who I would really love to see win it. I don't need to put Aberg or Hovland on that list because they'll just get on their own merit one day. Certainly. So would love it. When your case for the ball striking, not needing to make the birdies does make a ton of sense. Listening, sometimes it's all a blur. I was in the car for so long. I listened to a lot of research pods. But they did mention the Gary Woodland lead up form. And yeah, I mean, there wasn't the win, but it does seem opening Finau here. Trending ball striking. if that's your number, if that's as important as anything for you, then yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I'm not. Let's look at one more thing with me now.
I
Yes,
appreciate-
I mean, like if he can, sometimes not gaining off the tee that what you would like, but he has the
Yeah.
ceiling tee game. That's the thing. Like that high end off the tee is there. If he's flying that, sure. And even the around the green has gotten opening it up here. So
Yeah, his driving has been concerning this year, but he has length, which look at the past U.S. Open winners. You know, Wyndham Clark, Woodland, Bryson, all these guys have a lot of length, and he has that. So is this going to play a little differently? I don't know. I don't particularly think so. I think power is still going to prevail at the end of the day, and he's on that short list right there. And I bet another guy at 70-1. I don't feel as good about it, but I like where the number is. And he's hitting his irons pretty good. He's good on difficult golf courses. Seems like he was really popular at Valhalla after what he did at the Masters and fell kind of flat. Maybe expectations were a little too high, coming in a little under the radar. How about Max Homa 70-1? And he's got to drive it a little better, but I think about
You just like the number.
I like the number. I like his.
That's the only thing you like.
I like his iron play coming in. I like the number, and I think he can win on difficult golf courses. And I think he's got the game to go toe to toe with Scotty if he's in the mix.
Yes.
Yeah, he had almost got there at the Masters. I think he had a co-lead, and then he hit in the water on 12.
What do I always say, Steve?
But
Close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. They certainly don't fucking count in outrights. So close, put those two guys in that.
okay, I think he's under the radar this week, and I think the pressure is off him, and I think he's going to have a good showing at Pinehurst.
I would agree with he's under the radar. Just the number's high, and to Max's credit, the number got really high before the Masters, and he was involved for at least a few days, right? Yep. I'm sure a lot of people were like, "Oh my god, why didn't I play a ceiling Homa number?" I'm not a Homa fan. As much as he's made so many fans on the internet and stuff, I don't know. Not.
I just think he walks really weird, and it freaks me out. I don't understand why his head doesn't move. He walks very stiff, and I don't understand it. I've seen it on TV and in person, and it's very unnerving. I don't like it.
Okay.
Steve, though, if you're all about approach, like as we're sitting here in front of 100-1,
he's been hitting yeah.
Pardon?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Like, are you betting Corey Connors?
No, because I mean,
there's no ceiling. Like,
it's not that there's no ceiling. It's just that, like, he's had this profile going into other U.S. Opens, and how many cuts has he missed in U.S. Open setups? So,
yeah,
I guess I'm being a hypocrite in that angle, but I
don't think you're being a hypocrite because at least you're betting players. No. I don't know, like with a bit of higher ceiling. He's kind of flirted in some majors before, though.
Oh, yeah, he has. PGAs, Masters, U.S. Opens though have not gone well for him for whatever.
The player in this range that I my eyes just kind of keep going back to, and I certainly wouldn't have thought that a week ago, but I probably didn't open his profile a week ago. Sung J.M.
Oh, no, don't do this to him, Geoff. Geoff, I just got him into Sung J rehab. You can't do this. You're dangling.
This is innocent. This is happening without.
Man, you're literally cutting the line.
Okay, fine, but hold on a second then. If Steve's in rehab, he's still like peeking. He's still like taking like walk. Like he's still sneaking out.
Yeah, he's got a bump in the bathroom.
Yeah, he's getting a bump in the bathroom or something. He's got someone like throwing him a package over the fence. He's pretending to be playing basketball or something. And he shoots the ball into the bushes and let's go get his package.
That's right.
He's playing well. And reading Dave Tyndall's write-up, he pointed out not only how well Sung Jae is playing, which is easy to see when you open the stats, but a sneaky little fantastic North Carolina track record.
Yeah,
really.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I know.
Wyndham, Quail Hollow. Yeah.
Yeah, and Donald Ross. And you don't want to make Sedgefield a part of like how you're going to think about this, but I don't know.
I mean,
It's this happy state.
it's the same Bermuda strain at least, and Sedgefield is here, so he can putt on that. No, I am sticking to my word, even though Sung Jae did everything he could
This
to
is
fall back and
gonna be on
try
your
to get
shadow card.
back in my
This
good
is on your
graces.
shadow card.
I called my sponsor and he topped me off the ledge. And Sung Jae will not appear on my card this week. And,
Dude, if he wins this week, I'm just gonna apologize now.
if he wins, you're gonna find a new co-host. I'm done.
But it has kind of been boom or bust. Like it's miscut or T10, right?
Well, this is what he's been for the last year. It seems like ever since this neck injury popped up last year on the Players, he's had prolonged stretches of really good form, and then he just is complete crap for stretches too. So he's just in this little period now. It's just a question of, all right, it's probably going to end at some point. When does that end?
It's kind of like when you really do stare at it. Like, is he gonna go Martin Keimer unconscious around the green without the approach game to match it? Like,
Yeah,
I don't like the whole magic dust of it, like all lining up. I don't know if he has that, but you look at his results: 8th Memorial, 9th at Schwab, miscut at the PGA, 4th at Fargo, 12 at the Heritage. He's been playing like he's great results, I guess. His results based trending.
3-1 top 20. That way you can get your fix. You know what I mean? It's like methadone, right? It's like the top 20 is the methadone to start getting off a Sunday.
Okay, maybe I'll do that. But I mean, we did nickname him Knucklehead on this podcast, and if I'm trying to not have knuckleheads on my betting card, I have Pinehurst.
So I have Connors. I do have Connors on my card because he's against Cam Young and in a matchup for the full tourney, and I will take that all day long, all because of the way Connors is hitting the ball. Plus, Cam Young was, I don't know, just like a desert mirage of a good golfer. I don't know what happened to him, but he is not the savior that we all proclaimed him that he was going to be. It's just not happening. Something needs to change for him before I ever lay another fucking penny on that guy.
Not buying the home game narrative. He's a Wake Forest guy.
Smile.
What?
He hits at a mile, you said?
Oh, yeah.
No, I said he needs to smile.
Oh, yes.
Like he just looks
miserable.
He looks miserable. And I'm not talking about when he's shooting 5 over. Like he just looks miserable. Just I don't know. He doesn't seem like, I don't know. He's got to lighten up, I guess. At least
you see those Omni commercials he's on, and he's just complete monotone in the cart there, just talking. I'm like, how is this a good advertisement for a resort that you're supposed to have fun and excitement at when you got flat dial tone Cam Young endorsing you there?
I mean, how many awesome celebrity spokesman golfers can you have? I mean, they think Justin Rose is funny. That's the fucking bar for golf celebrity spokespeople. And Jordan Spieth in AT&T commercials.
Now, listen, Justin Rose is steady, like your financial advisor should be. That is
but him and that stupid Morgan Stanley.
Okay,
the worst.
Geoff, we're at an hour, but anybody else down, past 150 to 1 or so that bonds take a stab at, or positionals? Anybody you like down here?
Like super long. I'm not betting these guys because I'll like have maxed exposure. But like if you're making me find your winner triple digits, I'd say Harris English.
Okay.
175 high end number. I'm seeing Baccia 200. I know, like laugh. I think Norin.
No, Norin's never won, Geoff.
No, I know, but I just feel like both Campbell and Martin Keimer, like a lot of European Tour wins, limited PGA. Yeah. I know,
but they were good golfers. Alex Noren is our age, Geoff. He's fucking 40 and he's never won. He's not winning again.
I know. I'm not looking to bet here, so we'll say Baccia. You're asking me for a guy 150 to 1. Seems like that ceiling around the green. That would be the one for me if I had to pick one, but I won't have money left to bet up here.
All right, a guy that
he needs a sandwich before he can win a major.
Yeah. And what about you guys?
I mean, I'm not betting. I didn't bet anybody past 70 to 1. But positional wise, I mean, Victor Perez hitting his irons really good, contended at the Canadian Open, played well at the Memorial last week. T12 last year at Oak Hill, so I know he can get it done in a high finish at a major championship. That's a guy I've highlighted to keep it maybe rolling this week.
5-1 top 20.
There you go.
I like that one.
There you
Got
go.
that highlighted. But
He hits in them. Like I said, Cam Young's got a smile. He who hits in a mile. Perez mashes.
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy
Yeah,
because he's not a big dude.
Mm-hmm. So, all right. I got nothing
score?
else. Capper, you got anything else?
Yeah, Jeff.
Score?
I don't think
Winning
we've
score?
talked. Yeah.
What do you got?
I mean, that's hard to say because it's going to play really difficult, but we saw Keimer go nuclear. So what I think the over-under right now is like -5.5, 274.5.
Yeah, I saw 6. I saw 6.
I think someone is going to have a really good week and separate. So I would lean under, but I don't feel great about it. Like this isn't slam dunk, bet the under like I did at Valhalla.
Yeah.
I think someone is going to have a really outstanding week and go more than a few. I mean, like even at Wingfoot, Bryson got to 6 under and completely separate. That's what happens when you get these really difficult firm conditions. 1 or 2 guys separate and are outlier scores. And I think we're going to see that again this week. So I would say probably 7 under, I think is probably my guess.
I look at it the exact same way. It doesn't matter what people say a course is going to play like. If you're asking me before a tournament, I'm always convinced, and wrong often, and I'll be happy to be wrong if it's true carnage. But you'll never convince me that like 1 or 2 of these top 25 guys in the world aren't going to have their A game. And I'm of this opinion that any top golfer in the world with their A game cannot be held down by a golf course with modern everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. So,
Yep. Same.
Okay. All right. I got nothing else. Geoff, thank you for joining us on the show. Why don't you give us a couple plugs? Where can we find you nowadays?
As usual, the stuff with Pat we recorded is always fun. I've dropped my odds checker video for the week. But if you've already watched me there, then then you probably can pass that and just join us for the Cut Sweat on Friday afternoon. It's the US
nice.
Open. There'll be great players going home. Certainly. Hopefully we do get looks like there'll be no weather interference, and hopefully at least there'll be a carnage cut line. Always entertaining.
Yeah, I think while we said the winning score maybe go under 4, 5 plus 6, definitely in play for Pinehurst. So yeah,
I like it.
Definitely. All right, Capper, got anything else?
No, that's it. Jeff, appreciate you coming on. We got to get you on probably around like when mini camp starts so I can see how optimistic you're going to be about your Chargers and see how you feel about how Harbaugh's coaching up the team. We'll give you some time to enjoy the fake news coming out of camps, just like I will. Look, you gotta be happy, right? It's better. You got rid of the coach.
Yeah.
Right.
Got a coach,
That's
got a
step
quarterback. Like what did Pittsburgh make the playoffs last year? The Colts battled to the last week of the year. I see no reason, despite all the roster turnover and fantasy bros panicking as to how the Chargers will pass the ball. I see no reason why they won't compete and be in it for that 7th playoff spot.
Yeah,
Russ Wilson is gonna get Mike Tomlin fired. This is gonna be the first fucking year in Mike Tomlin's career that he's gonna go sub 500 because Russ Wilson sucks balls, and there's no shot the Steelers are making the fucking playoffs with Russ Wilson as the quarterback. So that's a wide open spot.
Yeah, last place schedule, you guys can squeeze out at least 9 wins. So and definitely get in the mix there.
I'm not saying they'll make it. Like I know the Bengals, like there's a lot of teams that were bad last year that'll be good, injuries or not. But just the way the league is set up with the 7th wild card, we look at the shittiest teams that have competed for that spot every year. I'm just trying to say, like, I see no reason why the Chargers can't be part of that mix competing for that spot.
It does hurt you that Josh McDaniels is now out of your division, though. That does hurt you.
On the closing note, I got burned by my Raiders alt unders last year, and I'll be going back to the freaking well this year.
Okay.
I love it.
Revenge. I like it. All right, Jeff. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. All right, you can go find Steve in our Discord channel. Got it right. And you can follow me on Twitter at Boston_Capper. I'm done screaming about hockey. So it's pretty much all golf now at this point. So yeah, it's US Open week. Let's go make some fucking money. Let's go.